Welcome back, everybody, to Eldritch Horror. Today is our third episode. If you want to see what's going on, check our earlier two episodes. This is essentially a serialized story because it's a longer game, and essentially this is sort of an ongoing story of 5 adventurers trying to rid evil from our world, or rid the world of evil. With me is my partner, Patches. You might hear meowing every now and then. Essentially, not just rid the world of evil, because of course, that's just sort of ongoing, but there's specifically the rise of the Elder Things, and it's these sort of alien creatures that are coming in through Antarctica. At the end of the last game, or at the end of the last episode, those who are watching might think that this is this is not coming up next, because there are a bunch of these eldritch signs all over the place, and that the characters are going to have to go to and basically stomp out. But one of our characters, Wilson, he had recently acquired this book out of Ma's Diner. Literally, he had been at Ma's Diner. Somebody had a journal. He took it, became paranoid that he's going to be caught because of it, and he found a coded message scrawled in the margins. And as he deciphered the code, he learned the prophesied future, and we advance the mystery by 1, and then discard the card, that card. So that means that the mystery we were currently on goes away, and we continue on to the next one. Now, I've been saying that each of these episodes is going to be one of these cards, so this would be the end of this episode. It would literally be just one short little turn because of the fact that we've gone on for that mystery. But then I discovered that actually in this particular one we have to solve 4 mysteries, not 3. It's a little bit bigger and harder of a one, so it's appropriate that we got through one of them just all of a sudden, and now we are on to an alien ritual. And what's going on with the alien ritual? The Elder Things have abducted countless humans, brainwashing them and forcing them to perform some heinous ritual for an unknown purpose. So, when this card is put into play, we put a mystery token on Lake Camp. Oh, you know what? I haven't put a mystery token, but I'm just going to put an Elder token. As an encounter, an investigator on Lake Camp may attempt to free the minds of the dominated humans. A cultist. A cultist monster ambushes him. If he passes the lore test, he may discard the ally asset and spend 1 clue to place one Eldritch token on his card. So, basically, the allies are going to be used as alien fodder, so we just sort of give them to him. So we'd have to give him the dog. I don't know if I can do that. That just seems terrible. Mystic Bounty Hunter, that would be sad to get rid of her, but we can be sacrificing these guys basically to the aliens. And of course, we could start giving the guides to them. In fact, you can get the guides from this one space, and you can get the dogs on here, so we literally could just start feeding them dogs, which I don't know if that's such a good idea, but I think Patches right here likes that idea. Now, of course, Charles Kane could be getting some more guides to go feed to the aliens, but he is taken off. And why has he taken off? Well, because he has got the sealing the old ones task. And so if he passes a lore test resolving a spell effect, he can discard the spell and place an Eldritch token on this card, and then see what happens. He just now feels so obligated to find out what that is. It has become his task, so he is obsessed with that. This may not be in the game, but hey, roll with it. It's part of the story. That's one thing I like about this, is how much of a sort of role-playing game this is. And by the way, I like this view. We kind of look at all the characters and where they are in the world. Anyway, so Charles Kane has left his post and is now going over to Buenos Aires to get a ritual spell, because all he has to do is cast a spell, and then he has to pass something, but then he can find out what sealing the old ones is. It's apparently a very important thing, and he's become very obsessed with that. He has abandoned Akachi Onyeli in Antarctica, who is surrounded by all of these alien creatures, but she has used her spell once again, the Mists of Wraith, to continue to stay there, and she looked and found another clue. And then she looked at the gates, the next gates that would be coming out, and this one was second, but she turned it around so that Tunguska will be first, and the other one actually Sydney, which is perfect because she's, of course, Kashi is close to Sydney and could just sort of rush over there, and then she could finally kind of find out what this thing is all about, because this works when she seals up something. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the astronomy guidebook. When you close a gate during an otherworld encounter, recover 1 sanity and gain 1 clue. Whoops. Oh, she's gonna have to get 2 clues. I forgot about this. So she gets 2 clues because of the fact that she was what was it? Because she's been here and she doesn't need to recover any sanity. But I totally forgot that she had that tome. I guess it was in a tomb underneath this thing. But anyway, so yeah, she can go over there and do that. But the thing is, Ursula is already at Tunguska, and we figure, all right, or I figured, okay, might as well just let her solve that, because that gate's probably about to pop up. Speaking of which, Ursula stayed in that space. You know what, did I do a turn for her? I believe so. If you pass, you may spend 1 sanity to gain. Oh, she tried to do the Cultus de Golis, and she had to move to that space. That was it. So she moved there, and she got that. And meanwhile, Mark is starting to head over this direction. I forget actually what I'm even having him do, because he's a big fighter, so he really should go. I think I was going to have him start coming down here to fight some of these things. Meanwhile, Wilson Richards is going to start making his way down, because of course everything seems to be happening in Antarctica. That's sort of where the things are that we really need, so he's going to try to get down here and help Akachi. I think there's going to be a bit too many cards on the table, but let's go through this bit by bit. Alright, let's start with Mark, because I just did him last over here. Wait, cameraman is drunk again. Alright, so Mark is basically in the Midwest here. Let's say he's in Nebraska. That's where I'm from. He's gone to Lincoln, Nebraska. And first of all, actually, a very important thing, he's gotten rid of his hallucinations. He rolled it off and succeeded. Yay! Now, why do I have 2 6s here? Well, this is kind of interesting here. He apparently went... nope, there were 2 6s. You saw it. He went... I lost both of them. Oh, well. Let's see. Oh, and something else I discovered I can do. Not that. That kind of screwed it up. Here. Zoom in on it. Yay! It makes it easier to read these things. Alright. A friendly game of cards ends with a very high-stakes hand. If you pass... and he passed. He rolled... That was what the 2 6s were about. The luck was with him. You amaze everyone watching and find a new friend. Gain 1 random ally asset from the deck if you... okay. So he got the P.I. Omaha P.I. We're going to call him Omaha Brett. Alright, so he's got a private investigator, which is very cool. And because Mark just seems like the kind of person who's going to be traveling around with someone like that. Now, over here we got Charlie Kane. You may wonder why he's got an artifact on there. Well, because he is along here on the ocean, and the captain went over to him because he's, of course, a very powerful and influential man. And the captain... it was working earlier. There we go. At sea, the captain told them that they were passing over the site of a famous shipwreck. You can use the ship's deep-sea diving equipment to explore the wreckage and become delayed to gain 1 artifact. I debated on this because he is on a mission sealing the old ones, but you know what? He was like, hey, something is telling me something. There's a force out there that's telling me I need this artifact. So I'm going to get it, and I'm going to flip it over. Come on. Unfortunately, it's the same button to flip something over as it is to zoom in on it. So, oh, that's right, I have to be holding it to flip over. Alright. That's why I never discovered it before. Divermus Mysterilis. Now, how is this underwater sticking around? Oh, well, item, tome. I test his lore. If he passes, you may spend 1 sanity to improve 1 skill of your choice. Ooh, actually, that's pretty darn good. You can just sit there and just keep on building up your... I mean, you'd be getting rid of your sanity, but you'd be building up 1 skill. That's pretty nice. Okay, he was worth delaying him for that. Alright, on to Ursula. Ursula is up here in the middle of Russia, where the next gate is going to open, Tunguska. And she went on a special adventure. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I'm going to call it the special adventure. Alright, and with the Super Friends. A strange color that you've never seen before permeates the air. It crawls like a phosphorescent mist along every surface. You can feel its corrosive effect on your skin, and you struggle to escape the area. And along with the help of her thug, you made it, and behind you the color flies up into space. You try to interpret what you've seen, and she did. If you pass, you're sure the threat has passed. Retreat doom by 1, which we did. If you fail, your mind cannot escape. So she succeeded. The doom passed backward. So that's good. Let's go on to our creepy guy. Now he is in the city. You wander through the aisles of an antique bookstore. Although many extremely rare books can be found here, the organization system is almost impossible to decipher. It's roll lore -1. His lore is 1, so he does not. Oh wait, if oh, okay, yeah. So that's it. He would have found something cool, but he's not able to. Oh, I need to discard this old journal as well. Meanwhile, probably the most important. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to show where he was. This is where Wilson is. He's up here in Alaska, so that's apparently where they have this ancient bookstore where they would have had a tome. But anyway, and over here is Kashi, and she is looking through. She's basically our hero for this whole thing. And what was she? Oh yeah, here we go. In the city of the Elder Things. This button is just not working for me. It was working like when I was off camera. Alright, City of Elder Things. A man in your party, well, I guess a dog in her party, because that's all that's with her, finds a journal. He shouts and sets it on fire. So apparently, woof, 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 then he peed on it. I don't know. Attempt to calm him, and she passed. So she went, good boy, stop peeing on the good book. If you pass, puts out the flame, and you see drawings made by Elder Things. Gain 1 old journal unique asset. So she got the old journal. So she'll be able to study that next term. That is everybody. That's where we currently are at the moment. And we'll just be continuing on to see what happens. During the Omen turn, we get this thing, the Omen of Good Fortune. You drop a penny into the peculiar mechanized device. The automaton waves its hand and turns over a card bearing the words, "Good luck with you." Apparently that's a good omen. Anyway, an omen of good fortune. The lead investigator may move the omen to a space of his choice on the omen track without advancing doom, which I did. You can see it right up here. He basically just moved it back. However, having, though this thing, actually, this little red thing, it would bring up his hallucinations, but he has gotten rid of those. Yay! However, it did bring up this, the hunger. So we're going to have to turn over the hunger. Bloodlust. Oh, great. So our lead investigator has turned into a vampire. And once again, that happened. I may just stop trying to do this. There we go. The hunger has been growing for days, and you lose yourself to your gluttonous desires. Oh, great, and he's on a ship in the middle of the ocean. When you awake, your hands and face are smeared with blood, and your companion lies dead before you. Another investigator on your space loses 2 health, and you lose 1 sanity, and discard 1 ally asset. Ah! Then flip this card. So I killed my assistant's boyfriend. Oh no, the Antarctic guide is dead. I killed him. Oh my god, that's really sad. I'm gonna say the dog got away. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Well, actually, I'll do my housekeeping here in a moment. In fact, I really need to do a lot of these things. And, then flip this card. Oh, so he might have it again. Oh wow. Well, he's the vampire on the ship. Nobody can figure out who did it. Even his assistant, who was just sort of like crying about her boyfriend. Oh, that's terrible. And I believe that is it. That's all that's gone. Oh yeah, we got another gate, of course, which appeared here in Tunguska. And there's a flying polyp came out of there. That's just gross. Alright, so I made the cards a little bit clearer and found that I had a few more problems I had to deal with. For one thing, this card actually was revealed, the paranoia. So, We flipped it over, and the paranoia turned into kleptomania. He became so, this, remember, came from him taking the book, so he became so paranoid of people catching him for stealing that he decided to steal more stuff. Against rational thought, you compulsively take what does not belong to you and hide it away. Now remember, he was in a bookshop, so gain one random item, asset from the deck, which was this holy water. For some reason they had that in the bookstore. And then you must hide from the authorities. He rolled the 5. So he did not get detained. So yeah, now I discard that, which is good. And the other thing was this pact, remember. It was a dark pact, and it turns out it was a pact with Ibon. In your time of need, the man had offered you great power, but now he introduces himself again as the wizard Ibon. It is clear that his goal does not align with your own. Shuffle 1 yellow and 1 green Mythos card from the game box into the Mythos deck. Then discard the top 3 cards from the Mythos deck. Then discard this card. And if we run out of Mythos cards, then we're screwed. By the way, that's Ursula. Thanks, Ursula. And the guy stealing stuff, of course, was Wilson. But at least they get to discard those, and we will be moving on. But yeah, here's how I cleared it all up. Everybody's got kind of their own space now, so it's going to be much easier to read their stuff. I can't put it into here because then it all... Well, I guess it'd just be raised up off the table. Maybe I'll do that. This turn has basically been almost a bookkeeping kind of turn. Just like we were organizing all these things, everybody was sort of organizing themselves. So, of course, Charlie Kane... Oh, over here. Cameraman is drunk. Charlie Kane, of course, was diving in the ocean and getting treasure from below the sea. And Akashi is she moved to the frozen wastes, and as she traveled, she read her journal. Dear journal, I saw a guy today that I really... No. Actually, this fits very well to her. So, as she read a particular arcane passage, she entered a trance in which her spirit left her body and traveled to a cave with glowing crystals embedded in the walls and ceiling. In the cave, she met a large creature with a mass of octopus-like tentacles for a face and shining golden eyes. The elder god spoke to her through her thoughts, tasking her with an important mission. She gained 2 task unique assets and then discarded one of them, so she basically, a tentacle creature told her that there's a sacrifice to make. So she'll be able, once she makes that sacrifice, she will be able to flip this card over and see what the heck it does. Let's see who else there is. Oh yes, meanwhile, Wilson was traveling over here to help Ursula, but then he stopped and he saw defeat monsters. He's like, what the heck is that? So he traveled down to here. I thought it was just an action. I looked it up. Now it's just the cards here are most likely to defeat monsters. So Ursula had to fight the polyps herself, and with the help of her thug creature did 1 point of damage, and actually would have taken some mental damage, except that her priest has, gave her a bonus, and in fact before I was supposed to give her a blessed condition, so that was why she was able to do any damage at all, and because of her lucky ring. So she's just basically using all that stuff to sort of fight that thing. Actually, you know what? I assumed that she didn't have a second action, but I think that because she only had that one action, she fought the thing, but I think that she still gets her second action. She just had to fight that first. So I'm going to go ahead and let her do that here. Test, if you pass, you may spend 1 sanity to gain 2 clues. So she's going to roll 3. Oh, that's right. No, she did that. And she lost the sanity, but she gained a couple more clues. She is just... Man, she is loaded with clues there. You know, she actually could finish that other thing. But anyway, she's up here fighting polyps right now. Oh, yes, and then there's Mark. Mark actually, he traveled somewhere. Oh, he traveled to San Francisco because he wanted to improve his ability to see. Even though he's a great fighter, he's got all this stuff, he's trying to be able to see a little better. And even with his... investigator, he cannot solve this puzzle box. So he came to San Francisco, and apparently his observation might be able to raise up a little more. Maybe all that smog will help. During the events phase, Charlie Kane, what happened to him? Here we go. He found a terrified stowaway aboard the ship. He attempted to comfort him and coaxed him into telling him his story. And the kid told him, or the stowaway told him about horrifying beasts and unbelievable worlds. So Charlie Kane gained a clue. And the stowaway did not realize that he was speaking to one of those horrifying beasts, seeing as he was a Well, he is a vampire right now. Oh, in fact, ooh. Oh, that's right, he couldn't spend an action because he was out diving. So, yeah, he might go and eat his personal assistant next, which really would suck. Alright, what's going on next? I guess they are stuck on a boat. You know, oh, and she had to just continue to fight that monster, the polyp. I had to fight polyps once. It was not really good. They were really a pain in my ass. Alright, over here with Mark, Omaha Brett introduced Mark to one of his friends, a guy named Hammer, a former Pinkerton agent on the streetcar, tried to convince him to teach him how to be a detective, and he succeeded, so his observation went up by 1. I'm going to have to put that there. Over here in Tokyo, Wilson, somebody tried to assassinate him, the Brotherhood of the Black Lotus, which is funny because that's the name of the pirate ship in Relic Worlds. The pirates fly around in this ship, spaceship called the Black Lotus. In fact, I have Tales of the Black Lotus as one of the short stories. Anyway, I digress. The Brotherhood of the Black Lotus, different group, has poisoned you. You fall into a coma and confront your greatest fears. And he passed, so he got a blessed, blessed condition, which actually means he's going to succeed now on 4, 5s, and 6s, which is really effective. Unfortunately, Akashi, who's typically been the hero here, she is... You know what? I should be showing where everybody is, first of all. Okay, so, Charlie Kane, the vampire at sea, right in here. Then Ursula, I showed where she is, fighting the polyp. And then Wilson is over here in Tokyo. Then Mark is over here in San Francisco. Finally, Akashi is here in the frozen wastes. So, Akashi... it worked for once. She dug up a star-shaped mound similar to those at base camp, but she strained her back, lost a health, which I need to actually do, and she, basically gained a strained back injury. So, not good for her. Mythos turn brought about, well, let's read it here. 3 men armed with bricks and planks walk down the dark street. As you turn, 2 more men emerge from an alley. It seems no town is too remote and no metropolis too civilized for the presence of robbers. Crime in the streets. Well, what that really affects is Tokyo. So basically, Wilson got mugged. He gave up. I'll show you over here. He gave up his alien device, and part of it is because, you know, as much as that is really cool, when resolving spell effects, he hardly ever gets spells. I was even trying to find something for him to use it, and the holy water. Again, very cool, but it wasn't really helping him that particularly much, so he gave those up, and besides, if he had allowed himself to be mugged, he'd, because it'd take out 2 sanity, he'd be gone. So, he's still in this. He gave up, a couple items so that he could stay in this. Plus, he just got blessed. He's going to try to use as much of that as he can. Mark was about to give up the crystal of the Elder Things until I realized the actual crystal causes Mythos card text effects to not affect him. And I'm like, oh, wait, this is a Mythos card effect. But the person who's probably most affected is Charlie Kane, who just ate his personal assistant. Yes, he turned into a vampire again, got a bloodlust, and killed his personal assistant. So sorry, Judy, you're gone. You're with your boyfriend now. Oh, that is just sad. He's at sea killing all these people. Oh man, our leader has turned into a vampire. That is just really terrible. Where did she go? Actually, this is one of these. So, guess he's gonna have to get a new personal assistant. She was actually always guaranteeing he'd pass tests and stuff. Anyway, let's see. Another investigator on your face loses 2 health, and you lose 1 sanity and discard 1 ally asset. Yep. So if he gets another ally or another what do you call it? If any of the others go onto a space, he's going to lose that. So he goes back to being hungry. And loses a sanity. Actually, I'll do that here in a second, but yeah, so that's the end of the Mythos phase. Alright, not a lot of movement going on here. There's one thing that's going to look a bit odd over here in Buenos Aires. Now, it won't be particularly odd that Charlie Kane came over here because he wants to gain the ritual spells. But you may wonder why Mark came down here. He was in San Francisco, and it's like, oh, well, the most logical thing is because he needs to kill monsters, so he's going to start heading on down here. Plus, his leader's right here. Now, game-wise, being that he has become a vampire, or is basically attacking anybody on his own space, it's the dumbest thing in the world to put one of our own guys there. Best to leave him sort of isolated. But, story-wise, Mark doesn't know he's become a vampire. Who would have told him? So, I'm saying he just went there going, hey, buddy, you're my leader, so I'm going to go and help you, and we're going to kill monsters. Over here, actually, Wilson decided to stay here and rest. I just had noticed last turn that his... his health is actually really high, but his sanity was really low. He was down to 1, so he stayed there and built that up. What was his other thing? I guess he just rested. You know what? I think I need to... Oh, wait, no, I think he did do something. He bought a ticket. He bought, a ship ticket so he can start moving a little faster next turn. Ursula destroyed the monster, and so she is going to be able to do something. Also, she did something else as well. What was that? Oh, yeah, she continued to read her book, and she is, losing sanity, but to gain lots of clues. She has so many freaking clues here. I can't even tell you how many. Actually, yeah, I have to actually officially stack them, and that takes a while. And so anyway, tons of clues over there. Let's see here. And finally, finally Ursula. No, it's not Ursula. Akachi. She moved into... Actually, she first rested, and when she rested... She got all of her health back, and she cured her back injury. Woohoo! So, we pretty much can count on that with Akachi. She's a badass, and she can, take care of that sort of thing. She's taking care of business. So she is now up to full health. She moved over here. Now she doesn't have any more actions left, so she doesn't have to fight this thing until it comes to the encounter phase. And that's, of course, what she would have to encounter, unless she uses her spell. Alright, this was a really complicated turn, so let's go through it. First, let's start with Akachi in the lake camp over here. So, she first used the Mists of Rayleigh spell to go past the monster there. Actually, she almost failed it, but then I noticed the Mystic Bounty Hunter, her spell, helps her with doing that spell, actually with lore, which helps with that spell. So she managed to get past that. Then she had to go on to what she encountered, which is at Lake Camp. She spent hours digging out buried tents. She failed at first because she had only one die to roll. But she did have a focus, so she used that up. That allowed her to pass that. It also allowed her to utilize the sacrifices to make, which basically when she does a focus action, she can spend 1 health and places it on that card. Then she flips the card over. The last drops of blood drop from your palm into the bubbling cauldron. The brew blisters and changes color, and you feel knowledge and power flow into you from the cosmos. Gain 1 additional focus, then improve 1 skill of your choice for each health on this card. I forgot to give her another focus, but she did gain she basically decided to raise up her lore as if it wasn't high enough already. You know what, I'm going to give her a focus before I forget, though. So she basically got her focus back. Also, she would lose 1 health because of the sacrifice thing. You know what, I'm going to just turn this the right direction. Everything's falling all over the place here. Anyway, alright. So, she used the health to get the sacrifice. But her event had her gain 1 health. So basically, she lost the health and then gained it right back. And from doing the sacrifice, she gained 1 extra lore. So she built up on that. Now, the turn continues to get complex because remember, once she's on this space, it's an alien ritual. And so what is happening? Let's see if I can get onto the... Yeah, it's an encounter. An investigator on Lake Camp can attempt to free the minds of the... Oh, as an encounter. So this would have been in... Oh, well, screw it. We're going to keep going with it. This should have been in place of the encounter. But anyway, she attempts to free the minds of the dominated humans. So they were in the camp she was looking through. A cultist monster ambushes her. And so she just had to pass this test, the lore test, and may discard 1 ally. Well, if you look at this, if you pass the lore test, you free the victim's mind of the alien magic, and you get a free ally. So he becomes your ally. Then it basically says, if you pass the test, discard one ally. Well, he became the ally, so we just put the ally right on here, and spend one clue to place one Eldritch token on this. So we discard the ally we just got, and place, actually we discard the clue, and we place an Eldritch token. Well, we'll keep this near us because we're going to need these on here. So, as screwed up as that was, basically she went into here. Oh, I forgot that she should be able to grab this, I think. Yeah, she actually gets this clue as well. Anyway, so she just sort of walked into the, went into the space, used the mist to get past the rampaging Shoggoth, which apparently was tearing up the camp, went into the camp, found some people who had been, actually went into the camp, pulled out a medical kit, strained herself while doing that, so she actually took some damage. They did a little bit of a blood sacrifice, improved one of her skills, but found a med kit, healed that, got ambushed by a cultist. She just basically said, no, you want to be with me, turned him into her ally, then turned around and sacrificed him to the aliens, thus gaining 1 point towards solving this thing. Phew! That was crazy, and she got that clue. Alright. Maybe that wasn't the way it was done, but I had to research the heck out of that thing, and so if that isn't the way it's done, then screw it. Although I do think I wasn't supposed to take that card, but anyway. Now, on to Wilson. Wilson is still in Japan, in Tokyo. Here we go. Tokyo. This thing just does not want to work with me here. Alright, so he found a gem bearing the symbol of the Emerald Llama. In its facets, he saw the image of some horrible beast. Suddenly, the creature is right next to him. Choose one epic monster on any space and move it into my space, then encounter it. Well, he chose, there just happened to be a cultist, so the cultist went over there. His lore is only 1, so I didn't even roll for it. I rolled to do the battle, and he won it, but then I was like, oh, what the heck, I'll just roll the 1 die, and he got it, actually. So he actually did get an ally, and it's this bodyguard. So the cultist decided to join their side. Alright, on to Mark, who has moved over next to his vampire boss, not knowing he's a vampire, in Buenos Aires. You sneak into the temple and overhear the rough croaking of deep ones chanting. You recognize familiar elements to the words they are intoning. And I forgot to do this one, so I got to roll his lore, which is 1. I think that's all that he has for that, yeah? Oh! I didn't mean to just place it down like that. Oh well, I'll say he took it. If you pass, gain 1 ritual spell. If you fail, alright, so he gets a ritual spell. Let's go over to the spells here. What did he get? Let's see, are these the spells, conditions? Hold on. Unique asset. That's a task. Those are tasks. You know what? Spells are on here somewhere. Let me just take a quick look here. Unique asset. Unique asset. So yeah, those are small assets. It's probably in here. Let's, oh, no, okay, close that. Let's search this. This would have been easier if you didn't find it. Alright, you know what, I'll just take the first one here. He got Arcane Insight. Choose yourself or another investigator on any space and test. Oh, the lore which you cannot pass. Roll 1 additional die for each tome possession you have. If you pass, that investigator gains 1 clue, then flip this card. Okay, well, he's not exactly going to be used. He's basically the big dumb muscle. So this isn't really going to be particularly helpful for him, but oh well, what the heck. Alright, so there he is. It's like that line in Firefly. Well, as long as they have guns and brains, they have guns. Anyway, so here we go. This is Ursula. Ursula is still up here in the middle of Russia in Tunguska. Dang it. That must be one thing. It's just an error on this thing. Alright. In the middle of the night, a feral beast rips apart your camp and attacks you. Alright, so she fought it off, and she feels invincible, so she gained another will. And she's pretty good with willpower. Okay, and there's another one I actually did. I forgot to do a Buenos Aires thing. Oh, no, I didn't. An old woman warns you that you've angered Yig and teaches you a protective chant. Gain 1 ritual spell. Oh, I haven't grabbed the ritual spell yet. That's it. You know, here's a second. So when can he do this? When resolving a spell effect. So he'll just have to do the spell, like, next turn. Ritual spell. Concerned that she may be right. You learn all you can about Yig. If you... and so he... oh, if you failed. That's right. So he already got the... that's why I didn't think. Was because he failed, but she gave him the ritual spell regardless. But if he fails, he gets the paranoia condition. So I'm basically looking at this as basically an old woman went over to him and said, "You're a vampire." He's like, "No, I'm not. You're a vampire. Get out of here, old lady." And now he's paranoid that he's a vampire. But I guess he's not really paranoid about that because he is a vampire. All right. Let's see. Next spell. All right. So I'm just going to give him Blessing of Isis because, again, first one on the thing. That's what he gets. Actually, it's a ritual spell, and I think that's... yeah, ritual spell. There we go. Test an 8-1 if you pass. You choose... okay, so basically, though... oh, when I pass. So he will have to pass it. That is not going to be an easy thing for him to pass. If you pass, you may spend 1 sanity to improve skill. You know, he might have to do this first and then just improve, although his sanity is already slipping away with the paranoia and being a vampire and all that. But anyway, he's going to need to do that so that he can pass all this stuff. But that's probably going to be after he, you know, tries to eat his partner. Hold everything. Forget everything that you saw about Ursula. She did not have her regular adventure. She actually was at a gate there at Tunguska. So she goes into exploring the gate, and this is what happens. It's the city of the Great Race. So basically everybody got in their cars and went chasing after them, or went racing through the cities and saw how many people they could run over or whatever. Alright, on a high stone shelf she found books containing the wisdom of both the distant past and the far-flung future. Unfortunately, the tomes were written using a series of strange curvilinear symbols. She did her best to translate the alien language, and she did, so she deciphered the means to return herself to her own time, close the gate, and she closed the gate. After her return, she forgot the time, she forgot her time with the Great Race. But she was plagued by, but she couldn't forget Dirk Durdley. What was his name? Was there Dirk Dastardly? How could she forget Dirk Dastardly? She was plagued by strange dreams, and she passed that, so she gained another clue. I mean, it's like not like she needs any more. Look at that. She has just a pile of clues. Let's see. I think that's it. She never even had to use her Ring of Luck. She did, actually. I forgot to mention this. In one of the fights that she was having with that great beast, she failed, or she just didn't, she was one away from killing the thing, didn't quite make it, and then she got the reroll from the ring, so I'm just picturing she went in there punching with the ring and took it down. And that is it for that particular thing. She closed the gate. On the Mythos phase, actually not a lot happened. Some monsters came out of one of the gates. There's a clue came out, but this is going to be ongoing. The investigators cannot perform arrest action until like this thing comes out, and now it is not happening now. So Charles Foster Kane did not become a vampire again, but there are some monsters coming out of here. Zombies are coming out of the gates, and the cultists are leading them through their gate. So it looks like over here the Charlie Kane, or actually really Mark Harrington, has been spared from being bitten, but now still nobody knows about him, so I guess he's just remaining in hiding, or maybe it wasn't a full moon, or what have you. Haven't done the turn yet, but I just recognized something. Okay, so remember how they cannot do rest actions until further notice or until they get another one of these symbols? Well, guess what he needs to do? Now guess what Charlie Kane needs to do in order to even try to overcome his vampiric nature or whatever. He has to rest, and so he will automatically be becoming a vampire again because he will not be able to. He won't be able to rest until this comes up, and when this comes up, he turns into a vampire again. So, once again, the leaders, I guess maybe that's the whole sealing the old one's fate thing, is he has to seal his own fate. During their moves, actually, first of all, Charlie Kane tried to use his ritual spell, so, basically for his own purposes, but he also tried to use the Blessing of Isis. Today that'd be a real blessing of Isis. I guess it'd be just taking the guy's head off, which is actually appropriate for a vampire. But he tried to do his quote-unquote blessing on Mark, who has that great clueless look on his face. Didn't work, and so Mark just went, screw it, I'm going to go kill this elder thing. So he's moved over here now, and Wilson moved down here to Sydney. He's going to be taking on the zombie and the cultist. Sounds like a new cop show, the zombie and the cultist. Ursula is moved over here and bought herself a ticket to take a boat down here. And, of course, our hero Akachi sneaked by here. Once again, she actually rolled 4 6s on her roll to use the mist spell, so I think she made it. And then she gained an asset as well. She gained a cat burglar. So now the cat burglar will be like stealing stuff for her while they, probably from the camp that's there, while they just kind of continue along. I guess you probably found her in the camp. And they all took their actions, or had their events. We'll start with Charlie Kane over here. He and Buenos Aires, he had the opportunity to listen to Jorge Luis Borges read some of his poetry. He spent one focus to ask him some questions and study unreal elements of his work in depth. When he spent the focus, he got an old journal and another ritual spell. This one is easier for him to cast. Where is it? I think I put it somewhere else. There we go. Again, I just kind of grabbed a random one, and luckily this one gives him +1 to roll. So all he needs is to do that to pass and to get the sealing the old ones and see what the heck that is. Meanwhile, over here, Ursula was in the wilderness. The winds turn bitterly cold and a storm descends upon her before she can build a shelter. The ordeal pushes her endurance to the limit. She passed, and so she didn't get any hypothermia or anything. The last thing she needs is hypothermia again. Alright. Then, actually here, let's look at where these were. This was Charlie Kane in Buenos Aires. And then Ursula way over here. Now we're going to look at actually Charlie Kane. Now first thing happened, he came over here, met up with the elder thing, blasted it to bits. I was surprised how weak it is, but he is, with his weapons and everything, he's just really powerful. So then he went on this adventure. And in Antarctica, flying over the area, you see evidence of an ancient stone city. You land your plane as close as you can and climb across the ice to reach the strange architecture. Test strength. Well, that was easy for him. Then once he was inside, the murals inside the city tell the story of the elder things. Retreat doomed by one. However, your studies take a toll on your mind, and he succeeded to pass the psychology test, so he got through. Then we go over here to, well, actually, where are we actually here? We are right here with Wilson in Sydney, Australia. First, he had to fight the cultist, and he managed to get him on his side and got an ally, and then he fought the zombies. He's like, do you really want to be associated with zombies? And the guy's like, I guess not. So it was a witch doctor, so he got a witch doctor cultist on his side, fought the zombie, killed it off, then went to close the gate. Turning the corner, you suddenly find yourself on stage. Other actors speak their dialogue and look at you expectantly. Someone off stage passes you a script, but the text is difficult to interpret. It's the lore -1. His lore is 1, so it came down to 0. He turns to his bodyguard, and the bodyguard's like, ugh. So he goes, I've got a lantern. Shook that at the audience. Managed to succeed, actually, because he's blessed as well, so he only needed a 4. So the audience applauded at his performance, because of course he had the lantern. They all like his lantern. He's just like, I have a lantern. You like my performance. And they went, oh my god, he's the greatest person, he's the greatest performer ever. He's even better than I don't know, a guy getting raped by a bear. Alright, so you consider sticking around for the second show in hopes of picking up details you missed the first time. You may become delayed for 2 clues, and that would be good for him. However, I'm starting to go, he doesn't have any clues. I'm thinking that we need more people down here to do this thing faster, because we only have 11 cards left until, you know, the big one comes out, and we still have to go through 2 more mysteries. So, I was gonna not get delayed, but come to think of it, he needs clues. So yeah, he's gonna get delayed, and he's gonna get a couple of clues. Meanwhile, okay, with Akachi, she sneaked through again, went up, and essentially fought another, another cultist, shook him off, got him on her side, and then sacrificed him to the aliens, and now they have 2 Eldritch tokens on there. They need 3 more in order to get through that mystery, and then they need to get 2 more mysteries before these 11 cards are gone. Will they do it? Will they succeed? Well, they will succeed if they keep getting softball cards like this. This was really lucky for them. The Omen track moved a little bit, and there's like monster spawn. However, there were no gates for them to come through, so a new one opened up in Tokyo, and a mummy came out, and a new clue came out. Actually, it's further south, but I'm going to show you this mummy real quick. I realized I zipped by it. Alright, enough looking at the mummy. And so a new clue came out here at base camp, right where it's needed, right where Akachi can do it. I mean, basically, she can just keep on doing what she needs to do to get rid of these aliens. It's just a matter of time. Can she do it in time is really the issue. And, you know, should other people get down there faster? This is a big question, is should Ursula go and take on the mummy and close down the gate, or should she go over here to the Himalayas, get the expedition, or should she be rushing down here and using her clue tokens to, you know, to finish this stuff off? Because she just has a ton of clue tokens, and would be perfect for that, but she just keeps having things to do up here. We shall see. On to the next turn, and Charlie Kane finally was able to cast one of his spells. It was a conjuration, so he was able to get an item, so he got himself some whiskey. Of course, that's what you're going to do with the spell. When you can conjure anything you want, you conjure some whiskey. But that was enough to turn the ceiling of the old ones over, and basically what it meant was you put an Eldritch token here, and then flip it over. I could have waited and done more spells to get more, but I was like, nope, screw it, let's let him finally get to his goal. Sealing the old ones. The magic weaves through your veins, tasting your blood before reaching out to the far corners of the earth. You feel the magic leaving your body and shredding the bodies of those beasts that would threaten to invade our world. Ah ha 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 ha. It really sounds like this guy. For each Eldritch token on this card, one monster of your choice on any space loses 3 health, then discard it. I did that to the mummy. So the mummy in Japan is no more. He is wiped out. And that was it. That was his whole thing that he's been building up on. So, oh well. So that was where here in Buenos Aires, I think I've determined he's going to start heading up to San Francisco and just kind of lead from there, and he can suck on the bodies that are up there, you know. I mean, plenty of people in San Francisco who deserve that. Alright, meanwhile, you see, I forgot to put that card away, but Ursula, since the vampire, or since the mummy is gone from Tokyo, she decided to go on down there, and she will be closing that gate. Mark, our warrior, has moved on down here into Antarctica. Did he do anything? I don't really think... Oh, let's see, no, he got that earlier. Oh, that's right, he still tried to figure out the puzzle box. I guess he can't... He's not very good with Rubik's Cube. Alright. This was interesting with Wilson. I finally looked at his action. It was gain 1 asset of your choice with value 1 from the reserve. Okay, I decided to have him do that. Or discard 1 card from the reserve and perform 1 additional action. Okay, so I didn't read it wrong before. Okay, so discard 1 card, or not discard, so gain 1 card. So he gained the Lucky Rabbit's Foot. I thought it was you get that and then you get another additional action, which means he should have been getting more things all along. So I just went ahead and gave him Pocket Watch. That's going to go away now, but he went ahead and also used his influence to purchase the police assistance. So I will be putting the Pocket Watch back, though. He's trying to steal it. I can't remember. I think that, yes, that's right. This turn, the Cat Burglar stole the Holy Cross. Sorry, Father. I love how they have a Vatican missionary with them and they're stealing Holy Crosses. Anyway, and of course she's getting ready to sneak past that big beast thing right in here. The events were rather uneventful. First, Charlie Kane, he actually got another spell. A student has been studying the university's copy of the Necronomicon and is eager to share what he's learned in exchange for hearing what you know. You may spend 1 clue to share what you know and gain 1 ritual spell. So now he has a poison mist. So he really is a vampire. He's gaining like that kind of looks vampire-ish, and of course poison mist. This guy really is becoming, you know, like a magic user wizard guy, and he's leading the group. I just love it. Alright. Ursula. Oh yes, Ursula went into the gate and experienced the past. Though the slits in the closet door, through the slits in the closet door, she sees herself as a small child sitting up in bed. "Who's there?" asks a frightened voice. You try to calmly persuade your younger self that you're a friend. Well, she would have failed it because she does not have much in the way of influence, but she did get a reroll, which was a 4. And so that she still would have failed, but she is blessed. So she passes. The child calms down, but eyes you suspiciously. "Listen carefully to what I say," you tell yourself. "It might save your life. You may become..." she may become delayed to get 2 clues. She doesn't need any more freaking clues. Look at all that. So she doesn't get herself delayed, but she does close the gate. Speaking of delayed, I screwed up again here with Wilson. He was delayed in Sydney, at the Sydney Opera House, so trying to put on a play and going, "Hey, everybody like my lantern?" So he did not get those extra items. So he went from having a whole bunch more items to no new items, and he's still in Australia. Mark, meanwhile, has... Oh yeah, he is in the Miskatonic outpost. And the Barak Miskatonic is leaving soon, heading to warmer places. If you're ready on short notice, you can catch a ride. You may spend 1 focus to get back to the ship, but he's not going to get back on the ship, so he's staying right where he is. And then Akachi, you know what she did. She used her spell to get past the monster and got ambushed and used a clue to put the thing on your thing, and now there are 3 things on that thing. And so only 2 more left before that mystery is done, and we can be done with this particular episode. But I might as well, while we're here, just go ahead and flip this over. So what's the next one? Oh, once again, Charlie Kane is not going to turn into a vampire. This is not an issue the Syndicate can resolve via normal channels. The well-dressed agent passes a sealed envelope across the table to you. "We need your help and trust you can be discreet." Call to duty. Event. The lead investigator gains 2 task unique assets. Oh, he just finished the 1 and then discards 1 of those. So he's going to get a new one of those. This moves up to here. 2 more creatures come out of a gate. Oh, but the gate was just closed. So it becomes a new gate. Let's see where that gate is. Shanghai. There we go. Oh, right next to her. So she can just keep on going through this. Forget taking the clues down to Antarctica. She just has all these things that she can keep on closing. It's been a pretty lucky game so far. And a clue. One more clue. This clue is probably in Shanghai. Frozen waste. Ah, there we go. Alright, I think that's it. Oh yeah, and then Charlie Kane is going to get his, get another mission to go on, another quest for his vampireness. Alright, for their actions, starting with Mr. Kane once again. He read his journal. Actually, I was going to have him moving, but he decided to stay where he was. And he started with his journal, and what was it he needed to do? Oh yeah, he needed to test the his observation, passed, and he deciphered a passage of the journal that predicts the coming of the outer god Nyarlathotep. If you can do better, you come here and try it. Alright, we have foreseen this. The messenger dwells in the distant past and waits for us in our future. It lives within our dreams and watches us from alien stars. It hides in our houses of law and defies our temples. The crawling chaos approaches wearing many masks, and soon we will all bow before... Gain 3 clues and discard this card. Alright, so we got the 3 clues. The other thing oh yes, right, he tried to read this, and oh yeah, and then he would use the sanity, but he would improve. He was trying to improve his lore. If he's going to be a good vampire, he really needs to have better lore than he currently has. Ursula, what did Ursula do? Where is she actually? She's in Tokyo. You know what? I think I forgot to do her turn. So yeah. Let's see. Tess, if you pass, you may spend 1 sanity to gain 2 clues. She doesn't need more clues. Yeah, I just forgot to do her turn, I think. So, or, yeah, that's right, because she was here before, so she's going to go here. You know what? There really isn't anything specific for her to do, so she's just going to grab herself a focus. Because she's going to obviously go inside yet another gateway. I had this thing here, but that was the last gateway. She's going to be known as the gateway. You know what? This person, Akachi was supposed to be the one with all the stuff closing gates, and now it's someone else. But anyway, alright, over here, Mark. What did Mark do? Oh yes, he moved over to here. He moved over to base camp and blew away the big monster. And got that as yet another part of his thing he's been building up here for a while now. His, what was his task, so purifying the world. So he's got yet another monster in there, just basically going around killing things, and hopefully he'll be able to do that soon. Wilson, what did Wilson do? He came over to the outpost, and Akachi stayed where she was, got another focus, and yada yada. We all know what she's about to do. On to the events, and let's take a look at what Charlie Kane went through. He's probably going to have to get out of Buenos Aires here. It's going to drive him crazy. He found a hidden altar to Dagon. Not Dragon, to Dagon. The police are eager to destroy the shrine, so he quickly studied the sigils before they were removed. Tried his lore, he failed. And he could have gotten another ritual spell, but he failed, so he has a sudden terrible vision of drowning, and he lost 2 more sanity. This is one of the guys who was most sane at the beginning of the game. Now he's down to just 3. And every time he turns into a vampire, he loses even more, and he cannot rest until he actually becomes one again, and he's going to become paranoid again, so he's in trouble. He's in bad shape, and all the stresses of leading this group. Alright, meanwhile... Ursula came over here to the, actually she is still over there, yeah, in China somewhere, I think. Shanghai. She got another thing from the past. She found herself standing in front of antique scientific equipment. According to the papers, the year is 1771. She read through the notes to try to interpret the nature of the experiments. She failed at a lore, and then and even with the lucky ring failed, so she was going to fail completely, but then she used a focus, went on and managed to succeed, went on to Joseph Kerwin, was using this lab to revive dead wizards from their ashes and interrogate them for arcane knowledge. Using his notes, he closed the gates. The rest of the results may also prove useful. She could become delayed to gain one spell. However, she's been needed so much around here, so she's not going to let herself to be delayed, because the spells just aren't doing much, and she really needs to get down to Antarctica to help people. And and she also still has the expedition to take care of, so she just is too busy for that. Meanwhile, over here, Mark, oh yes, that's right, he had another event where at Lake Camp, Gidney is the only member of Professor's Lake party unaccounted for. If he's still alive, he'll need medical attention. He may move to the frozen waste to search for him. Well, why would he want to do that? He's where he needs to be. Let's see, frozen, there we go. Frozen waste, actually frozen waste is just right over there. There's a clue over there. You know what, what the heck, he's gonna go over there because he could go after these monsters here. So he's gonna go over there. What then happens when he goes over there? Frozen waste to search for him. If you move, draw, and resolve another opposite. I'm not going to draw, I'm just going to go with this frozen waste. You rescue a lost geologist. Oh, well, it's that Professor Lake, who argues with you about where to put the tents. Okay, he needs this thing, influence -1. Alright, let's try this. He's kind of gruff and probably going to just beat the guy over the head. He's like, I came all the way out here to rescue... you know what? That deserves a better roll here. Yeah, a 1. Yeah, that's about what he would do. Mark is not exactly the most diplomatic guy. He would have given a random item. I've failed. The tent is torn to shreds by the storm. In a hypothermia condition. Oh, wow. Well, maybe that wasn't so good. I don't need to grab it out right now. Oh yes, he is at Miskatonic, isn't he? Yep, Wilson is at Miskatonic. You spot someone stealing one of Dyer's books. The thief attacks you. If you pass, you recover, and he did. He beat the guy to shreds, so he recovered another old journal. We got a lot of old journals around here, and you know what Connie did. We now have 4 Eldritch tokens, 1 more, and she will have passed. So now on to, let's go ahead and just draw it here. Here we go. We're getting close to being able to end this episode. Driven to madness. Let's see what happened. There was a time when you took comfort in the company of others, but no longer. You have sacrificed so much for them. Are the desperate masses even worth saving? Can the human race ever hope to earn its redemption? Never, I say, never. I shall become a vampire and take over the entire world. Driven to madness. Okay, so let's bring this over here. Each investigator may first of all, that's there. Okay, we're going to have, like, all the stuff happening to our leader. Another gate opens up. Istanbul, not Constantinople. Ah, there, right where there's a clue as well. Alright, and what else comes out? That's it? Alright. Event. Each investigator may discard any number of ally assets, then he loses 1 sanity for each ally asset he has. Oh, each investigator that lost sanity from this effect also gains a madness condition. Wow, that's going to be a lot of them, because they are not going to want to get rid of their allies. Alright, I'm going to have to figure all this out, and I'll come back and show you. Well, not a lot happened, actually, because, well, Akachi kept 3 of hers. She let go of the cat burglar. That really wasn't that necessary, but she kept 3 of her allies. That took her down, it took her sanity down to 4. Oh, she'll have a madness condition. I'll need to give that to her. Wilson went ahead and got rid of his, even though his bodyguard had really helped him through that theater experience. Yeah, it was time to say goodbye and part ways, because that was the one person he was going to keep. The witch doctor, he was like, he wasn't too concerned about it. He hasn't been losing health or anything. So he wasn't going to get madness just for one single guy. Mark doesn't really tend... Oh, he's got the 1 ally. And he needs that ally. Ooh, I completely forgot about this. Oh, and his sanity, he'd be going down to 1 sanity. But he needs that ally to get the puzzle box. So he's going to lose the sanity and take a madness condition. I'll have to put that on there. Ursula, she had... Oh, yeah, who did she have? She did not want to have to get rid of the one person that, oh, it's right, the bodyguard who's been with her through so many things, or the muscle, so many things, but she's just like, I just can't take a madness condition for the one guy, so she got rid of him. And of course, Charlie Kane has eaten all of his assistants, so he has none left. He did suffer self-doubt, though. Your friends and colleagues were right. What friends and colleagues would get to give him self-doubt? What hope do you have of changing anything? Mere mortals couldn't possibly stop ancient, powerful beings. Discard all of your improvement tokens. Then discard this card. Our leader, everybody. And then he didn't have any improvement tokens, so actually he's good. But he does have his whiskey. So, in fact, actually, does that protect him? To prevent an investigator? No. Anyway, he's good. And on to the next turn. Alright, everybody's done their actions, and I suddenly realized I had screwed something up. When I was looking at the actions and making decisions as to what people were going to do, I suddenly realized about the research cards. I suddenly realized I had never been drawing from that pile or this pile, and I didn't quite understand it, and looked it up in the rules, and every time we're getting clues from this board, we are supposed to be drawing from this research pile, which has a lot of really cool things in it. And this, from here, we're supposed to be getting from this pile, which has neat, cool things in it, which makes it more of a story of researching and stuff. Luckily, we haven't really gotten a lot of our, even though she has a ton of these clues, she hasn't gotten that many from the board. Most of the time she got them from events and that sort of thing. So she'll be doing that now, and she'll also be doing an expedition, so she's going to be doing both. I'm not 100% certain if that's the way you're supposed to do it, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that, especially, you know, so we can start seeing some research things. And he's here to do a research thing. So that's Wilson and Ursula. Mark came over here, and he was going to kick a bunch of ass. He was going to shoot up these guys. This one, the ghost, as soon as he passed his spirit roll, it got scared and flew away. This one, all of a sudden, its order was to run over to Tunguska. So it basically, he went to kick ass, and they all ran away from him. He's like, oh, dang it, but he does get another thing added to his thing here. Oh, that kind of flattened over all of them, but we know they're there. Akachi just is waiting, because we know what she wants to do. And I guess that's it. That's what they're doing for their actions. So now we go on to events. And here's what's going on with everybody. Our Mr. Kane here in San Francisco. He met a lot of eccentric patrons at Izzy's Saloon, including journalists from across the country. He improved his not just eyesight, what is that, observation abilities. And he could spend a focus, but he's got none, so he didn't do that. Now here's where we finally get into our research cards with Ursula, and she's in the wilderness, which is perfect. It's where she it's where she fits in best, and where she does her research, which is really cool. So yeah, you find an ancient mural and attempt to decipher it, and she passed. So she discovered the ritual is meant to summon creatures from another world. Gain the dull chance artifact. Oh wait, okay, there's a specific artifact, not this one. So I'll grab that in a little bit here, but it's a specific artifact you found. Now over here to Mark, and he was in the City of Elder Things. Beneath the city, the murals, so we're with murals again, that's the whole theme here, are more crudely painted. He tries to understand the reason, and he only got one die, but as you can see, he rolled a 5, so he succeeded. You realize the Elder Things are slowly degenerating. Retreat the Doom by 1. So they did that. Doom has not been a problem for us this game. It's been our own incompetence and our own leader being a vampire. Alright, this is Wilson, who's in the Frozen Waste, I think. Is that right? Let's make sure of that. Yeah, Frozen Waste. And oh yeah, he has one of the research cards as well, the one from this area. So, he saw a vision of how this area looked ages ago. In the sky, the Elder Things waged war against an alien foe. And again, he only had one lore, but he rolled a 6 on the one die. Man, they've been getting lucky. He didn't even have to use his lantern. If you pass, you identify them as Migo. Oh yeah, it's Migo. All right, they're not amigos, but they are close. Gain this clue. Okay, so he gained the clue. If you fail, you're okay. So he didn't have to worry about that, and she did what she does best. She grabbed somebody, said, "Hey, be my friend, and here, go sacrifice yourself to the aliens." So we're going to be on to the next mystery and the next Mythos card here in a moment. And the Mythos card is Wanderlust. Let's go down the line here. So we first move the, not Doom track, I keep forgetting, the Omen track. We move that one over here. Alright, that's what that looks like. And of course, it's all the red stuff. Anybody who has that on them, that's going to take effect. I really don't think there is much around, except, oh, Blessed. Oh, you know what? I'm just now realizing this was probably only supposed to happen on these particular times when this was going on. And so they shouldn't have been succeeding on 4, 5s, and 6s all that much. Oh, boy, I did notice that the first time, and you know, it has to be only at these particular times. Then I kind of forgot it from then on. So we probably shouldn't have done quite as well as we were doing, but oh well, this game is very complicated. There's so many different things. And of course, he turns into a vampire and goes after anybody else who's on his... He goes for his bloodlust. I mean, I know it's not necessarily a vampire, but that's what I'm calling it. So he goes around San Francisco, starts eating people. He's trying to save the world, but he's also going around eating people. And no, he does not sparkle in the daylight. Alright, so then we get a gateway here. Oh, you know what I've been forgetting too? Every time he turns into a vampire, he loses his sanity. And so is this time, and the last time I forgot as well. I've remembered other times. So he's down to 1 sanity. You know, all we need is for a gateway to open right where he is. So let's see, because the gateway is the next thing to open up. And yes, of course. Alright, that's too perfect. San Francisco, right where they're basically welcoming him home. They're saying, "Hey, buddy, you know, join us. You're supposed to be leading the resistance against us, but you really want to join us." Well, and then the Wanderlust. Each investigator on a space containing a gate tests -2. His will -2, and his will is 2. So he doesn't even test at all. So what happens to him? This is just too perfect. He gains lost in time and space. Yeah, so Charles Kane is lost in time and space. You know, that just couldn't be more appropriate for him. The man is lost in... I just have to see what that is. All right, let's look through this. Come on, lost in time and space here. Before we move on, I just have to know where this guy is. Here, I think this is that... There we go. Condition, lost in time... Oop. Restriction, remove your investigator token from the game board. You are unaffected by other game offers and cannot move or perform actions. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. So we're just going to be removing him. So basically, the gateway appeared and sucked him inside. I'm not going to take him from the game board. I'm just going to put him right there. I'm going to put this right there, and then we'll see what happens to him. But meanwhile, first of all, because you know it's at the end of the turn, we find out what happened to him. We go on to what is this? The mystery card, Binding the Dark God. You mean our leader? While the Dark God is still weakened, a new prison can be created to contain it. Through a series of rituals, the Dark God can be bound to another world. That's perfect, because basically at this point we are trying to end it. This is the last card, the last mystery we need to solve, the last thing we need to do to end this. So it's all appropriate that it is binding the god to a certain area, which is like Prometheus. We're kind of like you know, binding a god to some kind of rock or whatever, proverbial rock or whatever. When this card enters play, place a mystery token in the Plateau of Ling. All right. Well, we could do that, or we could turn to this card, which was, once we have so many monsters, we can flip it over. And, you know, now I can't go into that thing because it made it so small. But Purifying the world. You stand over the lifeless corpse of yet another servant of the Ancient One. With each defeat, you cleanse the world of evil and bring hope to all who witness your fear. For each monster on this card, resolve the effect based on its toughness. And 4+, advance the active mystery by 1. Then discard this card. That means we advance this by 1. And we've done it. We've done 4. Actually, I didn't put them all here. Where did I? Oh, no, that's right. I put it all there. So, yeah, as you can see, there are 4. We have solved 4 mysteries. The evil one is taken down, and our leader is lost in time and space. So let's see what happened to him here. Swarming masses. He was taken away. Our vampire was taken away to these swarming masses. Among swirling masses of stars, you discover swarms of alien beings that feast upon one another without hesitation. You try to find... Well, and that's appropriate for him. He's feasting on people as well. He's feasting on his own. You try to find your way home without being noticed. Alright, let's see if he passes here. He is... it's his perception -1. His perception... Oh, he just raised his perception in San Francisco. So it was 4. He's down to 3, down to his normal amount. So he's going to have to do it on his own stuff, on his own reconnaissance, or not reconnaissance, whatever. Anyway. Alright, so this is it. He doesn't have any rerolls, I don't think. So, see if he finds his way back. He did! 5. Alright. So, I almost was hoping he wouldn't, but anyway. Alright. If you pass, place your investigator token on a space of your choice. If you fail, spawn 1 Okay, so he did pass, then discard this card. Ah, so he just comes back to San Francisco, and he just feasts on the flesh of other people there. He just kind of learned from the monsters. Anyway, so that is it. That is our adventures through time and space. Oh, you know what? She didn't go on her adventure. Let's just put her on hers. I mean, I know it's hard to beat his, but yeah, you know what? There's no beating that one. That was just too cool. I did forget to give her an adventure. This last time I put her on the clue one, but I had been forgetting those anyway. Anyway, so they have resolved all their things and gotten rid of this monster, and I think our MVP definitely has been Akachi. This was really pretty extraordinary game for her to have accomplished that much. But anyway, this has been fun. I really like the virtual tabletop as well. This is a really good program. Next time, actually, I'll have to figure out how to put it out into a field or something like that. But there is one basic thing you can do, which is flipping the table, which now that we're done, we're obligated to do it. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe to watch our other videos. Happy gaming, everybody!